So, you're a black belt. That's what we're going to call you for the rest of the semester. So, we're going to assume that you're going to an organization where you're actually going to be in charge of continuous improvement. If you're not, you hopefully then will see someone there that is doing some of the things that I'm highlighting. And of course, throughout the semester, my job is to tell you what I think are the good techniques and what I think are the bad. So the first thing we need when applying, and I'm going to call, sorry, let me get a pen there. We're going to talk continuous improvement. The first thing we need to do is have a project, right? All right, we need to have a project. And it's your job, I'm going to say, to come up with the projects that these green belts are going to work on, and you might come up with a project that you yourself are going to work on. So in order to identify a project to be successful, you want leadership to see you applying continuous improvement to things that are important to them. And what we need to know from them is what is their strategy. All right, what is their strategy? And sadly, you may be working for a company that doesn't have one. Or that has one that isn't measurable. So I'm going to go through a tool here that I like. Let me get rid of this real quick. I'm going to go through a tool here that I like called to the bullseye, right? The bullseye is the sweet spot. So we called this the vision, okay? The mindset, that's here. And the sweet spot was the behavior. Now, this is a change management tool. When people implement programs or they want change, even in your personal life, let's say you're married and you want your partner to change, we tend to not talk in behavioral terms. We tend to say, oh, I wish you were more affectionate. Well, that's a vision. What is affectionate? A man's definition of affectionate might be different than a woman's definition of affectionate. So if you want the relationship to change, what you have to say are behavioral examples. Well, if you were more affectionate, we would hold hands a couple times a day. If you were more affectionate, you would give me a kiss before I go to work, or I would give you a kiss when I get home from work, okay? You've made it behavioral. And oh, by the way, if you truly want change to be successful, you have to let people do it begrudgingly, because people don't like change. So you have to let someone go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to give you a kiss before you go to work. It's so early. And you have to not get upset about it. So the same thing comes in with continuous improvement. You have to say to people, here's what we learned at GE. Jack Welch said we want to be Six Sigma by the year 2000. Well, nobody knew what he was talking about. And it's easy to say when someone is giving this lofty vision statement, sure, no problem, because it doesn't require any effort from me. Okay, so that's the vision. So then we realized that at GE and we started to talk about, well, if we were Six Sigma by the year 2000, what would be the mindset? And we would say that you are customer focused and quality focused. But again, the average person sitting in the company, oh yeah, customer focused, oh sure, yeah, I'm nice to the customers all the time. These are not levels that we can use to identify projects. Everything going on in the business right now, we can say, let's make it more relevant today. Oh yeah, every project we're doing in the company will make us Six Sigma by 2024 because it's unmeasurable. So if you remember in the Green Belt course, I spent an enormous amount of time talking about the need to talk in measurable terms, okay? So we get down to the mindset, customer focus. We get down to the quality focus, still not. So what we had to say was, all right, now wait a second. If we're customer focused, this is how we started to talk at GE, we would see customers in our corporation, in our offices, doing projects with our employees. You're like, well, wait a second. You mean we can invite an employee, a customer into the organization to do a project with us? Yes. If we were quality focused, we would see our black belts at our supplier locations doing projects with them. And actually, those are some of the best projects when you can go to your supplier and make them better. Because guess what happens for any of you in the manufacturing side? If you make your supplier better, you don't have to do as much inbound quality inspection because you know that the parts coming in are good. Now, one of the issues with behaviors for project selection is oftentimes they are solutions. So remember, we don't want to jump to solutions when identifying projects because then they're just go-dos. So, you know, vision, I hope that we are a mindset, we would be affectionate. Behavior, we would hold hands once a day, okay? Well, that also is jumping to a solution. So the sweet spot for projects is working with all of this to get to something that's measurable, okay? So I can take Six Sigma by the year 2024, and I can then, remember we had the tree diagram in Greenbelt, I can say, well, what does that mean? Does that mean that literally we would only be making 3.4 defects per million opportunities on one of the things that we're making? If so, now I'm getting close to this area. Well, what are some things that we are making and what level are they operating at? So are we making something today that's making 68,000 defects per million opportunities? There's a project, okay? Let's see, what else? B Six Sigma by the year 2024. Customer complaints would go down because remember the early days of Six Sigma, there was a quality emphasis. Customer complaints would go down. Okay, so do we have areas? Remember our friend the Pareto chart? Do we have areas where there are customer complaints? And if so, there's a project. Okay, so this is one tool I wanted to start with. Now I'm going to come back and discuss strategy from another tool perspective, but I just wanted to start with, as a black belt, particularly if you're an organization that isn't doing continuous improvement, and I'm sure you've already noticed this coming out of the green belt session, is people talk in measurable terms. And we can't act on these lofty vision statements that aren't measurable. I'll give you a couple examples of clients that I've had that wanted to do continuous improvement and started with the following visions. Double is doable, said the CFO. I said, everything you're doing in the business right now would apply to that. And so I don't even know where to begin from continuous improvement standpoint. So then I said, well, if double is doable, what would be, if you recall, I'm a big metric person, what would be something that got better, faster, or cheaper, or went away? Oh, profitability. I think we can double profit this year. Okay, there we go. I think we can double profit. EBIT, right? Or EBITDA. So then, behaviorally, we should pick projects that have a direct impact on profit. Okay? One other executive, he said we want to be, he told the employees to, this year, the company had A in their first name. We're going to bring our A game. This year as an organization, I want everyone to bring their A game. Everybody thinks they're bringing their A game already, or they think, well, I am, but that person isn't. So again, I can't pick continuous improvement projects with that. So why don't we do this? If employees are bringing their A game, what would get better, faster, cheaper, or go away? Because that's probably your project. So people would be on time for meetings. Okay, so then how many people are late for meetings today? There's a project. Customers would have their, this was an internet company, customers would have their content uploaded on time. Okay, so then how many customers are not having their content loaded up on time? So as a black belt running a continuous improvement program, the first thing you're going to have to do is get your senior executives to talk in measurable terms or ask them questions until you get to measurable terms. All right, so this will be an exercise that you're going to apply, and you'll see that in the assignments. The vision, mindset, behavior. Remember, this is also just a change management tool, okay? In addition to helping you rough out the strategy with the organization you're working for. And in the next video, I'm going to give you another tool that you could use that was a refresher from our green belt.